Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe, Macon, Georgia. We're here to talk Mercer basketball with Mercer head coach Bob Hoffman. Coach, number one, it was good to get back home in Hawkins Arena, and nothing would make it better than that than a couple of wins. Let's start first with the victory over East Tennessee State.
Well, I mean, it was a great victory. We had a tremendous crowd, a lot of people in the gym. Energy was at a high level, and it was amazing how our guys performed and got after it. I mean, it was a tough fight against a team that's going to zone and run matchup defense. So you have to work on different things than you're accustomed to against a lot of the teams you play in our league. So I thought we did a really good job finding little cracks and making some dribble penetration, getting some extra shots, because that's what you have to do against a zone defense like they employed against us on that night.
Now, let's talk about Langston Hall and Daniel Coursey. First, Langston almost one rebound shy of a triple-double. You've coached for many, many years. Triple-doubles are hard to come by.
Well, I think I used to have a bunch of them, but we didn't keep track of all that stuff back then. That's how long ago I played.
But certainly a phenomenal, consistent
Well, we didn't
effort
have stat guys, so, you know, you kept your own stats, you know. But it was amazing thing that Langston did, and if somebody would have given me a little hint prior to, we might have got that done. I don't know, but I mean, he was everywhere he needed to be.
Yeah.
He ran the team, got us in the right places. We had a lot of guys making shots. That's what happens when you get 10 assists. But the rebounds were what was a huge factor for our winning the game. I thought he was down in there getting defensive boards, and he was getting up. Looked like his ankle was feeling good.
Yeah.
And he was flying in there and getting some rebounds, so that was really good to see. He always runs the team and is into control.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a special night for him, and he really propelled us to get the victory that night.
The team had 22 assists, which is excellent. And then Daniel Coursey, now you feel like Daniel's so tall, maybe a couple of those were blocks instead of steals, but I don't know the last time one of our post players had 4 steals. Daniel was really an influence in the game.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but I thought it was more, I would like to see him be block shots, and that would affect field goal percentage, and then he would have got a rebound.
Yep,
so that would help rebounds too. But our crack staff of statisticians see otherwise sometimes, so you just have to go with the flow on that. And Daniel he really was engaged all night, and his defensive prowess of how he got up on guys, and he was in the air when he needed to be, and he got his hands on a lot of balls. We need him to play at that level for us to be successful the rest of the season. And he had great energy going in practice going into that game, and it just carried over, and we needed to continue in the days ahead.
Then moving on over to Saturday, the doubleheader against USC Upstate. We knew in advance Torrey Craig, one of the best players in the league. First half, did a great job against him. Second half, he may have shot some of those threes from out in the parking lot.
Well, there were some NBA scouts there, and I would think they went away thinking he had NBA range at least.
Yeah.
I thought it was closer to logo range or popcorn range, I said earlier today, where he was up getting popcorn at the same time because he was deep. And we were there most of the time. You cannot dare that guy to shoot. He's a talent, and he's continued to get better a lot of the different aspects of his game. But Ty Green was really fantastic also. He hit a lot of big shots for them. We only got three offensive rebounds the whole night, which is not a good stat, but they got 17. And they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams. They are the best offensive rebounding team in our league. And we didn't keep them off the glass as well as we should, but when they're taking those shots way out there, they bounce a little different. You have to change your angles. You got to get on bodies, and we didn't do as well as we should have, but we came out with a victory because we were able to do some other things well in that game.
Coach, we certainly don't take it for granted because I know you, the staff, the players worked very hard at it, but free throw shooting in those 2 games was excellent. Probably helped us to win that game Saturday at the line.
Our guys shot it well. I was the free throw coach that night.
Okay.
So,
all right.
That's all we'll say about it. We'll just go on. It was good that we hit them.
Yeah.
And we've been doing a good job of that. We need to continue because that has been a great weapon for us most of this season.
Coach, another thing that happened on Saturday, of course, your team couldn't participate because you were playing, but the student athletes were honored. I know you're very proud of what your team has done in the classroom as well.
Right. I mean, we've done a great job there. Our assistants work hard at that. Sybil Blaylock works hard. We have all kinds of tutors and different people that try to help us get that done. And our guys were close to 3.0 last year, overall GPA for the whole year, and that's hard at Mercer. That's hard anywhere, but it's even harder at Mercer University. And then you couple that with traveling and all the things we did at the second semester of last year, missing a lot of days. I mean, the credit goes to our young men and the time they put in, and the faculty that worked with them to get them an opportunity to work on the work that they needed to take care of, missing a few of those days. But we have special young men, and the amazing thing to see all those student athletes that were lined up in the hallway right in front of our locker room at halftime. I mean, that speaks really well of our athletic department to have that many people, that big a percentage above a 3.0, which is even higher than the average GPA of the university. And I know for our part, there's not many men's basketball team in the country that are going to have a 3.0 as a cumulative GPA. And so we're really proud of that. We're working hard toward that again this year. We had over 50% of our guys were a 3.0, so that goes well. They have a lot higher GPA than I ever did. So I'm thankful to get to coach guys like that.
Coach, in our next segment, we're going to go to campus, talk to Travis Smith. I think you paid him the ultimate compliment post-game a few games back when you said he's just Travis. In just a few seconds, kind of set the stage as we go talk to Travis and what your senior guard has done.
Well, he just takes what's given to him. I mean, he is a special talent that he can get in the lane. He has a tremendous mid-range game, but he's a fantastic defensive player. And he gets his hands on a lot of balls, and he doesn't try to take over a game when he could sometimes, but he just lets the flow of the game come to him, and he's worked hard to get to the point he's at right now, and our guys rely on him on a big stage. They understand what he brings to the team, and we're fortunate that he's been a part of our program for 2 years, and it's going to be exciting these last few games, and we're excited about to get to hear what he's getting ready to talk to you about in the next segment.
All right, let's go to campus and talk to Travis Smith. We'll be back in just a moment from more with Inside Mercer Basketball.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where? At the Wild Wing. The
Wild Wing. I have purchased 5 Jeeps here at 5 Star. And my sister-in-law from Florida actually came up and purchased a Jeep here. The way you're treated, the satisfaction, the service, just the overall good experience. And, for me to come back that many times speaks for itself.
Well, we're back at Hawkins Arena to talk with one of our Mercer players once again, Travis Smith, our senior guard from Johns Island, South Carolina. Travis, it's hard to believe that I'm saying you're a senior already, your second year of playing. I wish you had 2 more years after this, but tell us, what's it like, you and Chris Smith, the only 2 seniors on this team?
It's different. I mean, like you said, the times went by fast, and especially since I was only here 2 years. I wish I had more time, but I mean, Chris and I really want to get something special done, as the whole team does. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this year and looking forward to the rest of the year and getting into conference and everything.
All right, Travis, when you came aboard last year, we had a magical run, 27 wins, won the collegeinsider.com tournament, and down the stretch, we needed some clutch shots made. We needed some clutch free throws, and in many of those cases, like some of your other teammates, you hit many of those. Tell us how much, it seems like sometimes in the college game, free throw shooting is not emphasized as much. To be an excellent free throw shooter, what does it take?
It takes a lot of practice and repetition. I think it's just a lot of muscle memory and, like I said, a lot of practice and just paying attention to details and making sure that you're concentrating at the line and not taking it for granted.
Okay, you guys had that great run last year, and of course you still haven't lost a game in this arena at this point. What do you attribute the camaraderie and how this team plays together so well?
I would say it goes a lot to our coaches and how our coaches have built the system here, where it's more of a family-oriented system and no guys left out. We all do a lot of stuff together. We all go to each other's rooms, even when we don't have practice. We watch movies together. We play video games together, play cards together. So I mean, it goes further than just basketball. That's what I think that's the main reason why we have so much chemistry, and we're not selfish and willing to pass the ball and make extra passes and stuff.
All right,
like
there's so much to your game. You can shoot the three, you can dribble drive, you make the free throws. On a good day when you feel like your A game is out there against any opponent, what's going well for you that day? What do you feel like you bring to the table best of all?
I think first it starts with defense. I mean, this year more than last year, I really I'm taking the defense in more serious. I want to lock down the best player on the opposite team. But it also, with getting my shots, I want to get everybody else involved, get in the paint and make passes for everybody else and make everybody else's life easier.
What about academic, Travis? Obviously, we talk about with all the players what a great educational facility this is, an institution. What are your aspirations as to what you'd like to do professionally from the academic aspect?
Right now I'm in business management, and I'm gonna probably get my master's degree a little bit after I get out of college, and then also I want to be a athletic director. So that kind of fits into this whole athletic realm that I'm used to, and like you said, Mercer's has a tough education, and it's challenging, which is good and bad. I mean, we're on the road a lot, but I mean, I always like a good challenge, so that was one of the reasons why I picked Mercer.
Tell us something about yourself. I bet there's something that the folks who sit in these seats and watch you play night in and night out, it's probably something they don't know about Travis Smith. What would that be?
Something they don't know about
What do you enjoy doing when you're not out on the basketball floor?
Really, I just like I said, hanging out with my teammates and just kind of kicking it. We play a lot of cards, a lot of cards. We do that all the time. We play cards to waste time and play video games. That's probably about it.
All right, Travis, I've asked the other guys, ask you as well. Obviously, this is a big year opportunity-wise for us. We've got all this experience back, all but one or two players from last year. The tournament is around the corner. Of course, we've about completed non-conference play, now about to head into conference games. Your personal feelings about knowing the first week of March we're going to be playing on this floor with a chance to win this tournament and advance to the NCAA?
Well, I'm very excited. That's what you practice for. That's what the non-conference schedule is for, and that's what everybody look forward to. Just getting ready to go to the NCAA tournament and being able to do it, have the chance to do it here in front of your home crowd and in Hawkins Arena is something very special, and that's one of the things that drew me to Mercer. When they were recruiting me, they told me that I have a chance to play here for the conference tournament instead of playing at a neutral site. So that gives you a little bit of home court advantage, and it's just exciting. I mean, it's my last go around, and I would love to do it the right way.
All right, Travis, we've got several more games to go, but if you're asked in a few weeks what's the most enjoyable thing about playing college basketball, what would you say?
I'll say my teammates. They make it. I've been on two different teams, and this team right here, and last year's team just makes it fun to win and just fun to go places. You know, just enjoying my teammates and smelling the roses this time around for my senior year.
Sounds good for me. Travis, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks
Best of luck to you the rest of the year. Now we're going to head back to the Wild Wing and Coach Hoffman with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you to find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a bright.
DNA augmentation initiated. Neural speeds increasing to 4G LTE. Brain upgrading to a quad-core processor. Precognitive intelligence with Google Now complete.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.
Well, we're back at Wild Wing Cafe to talk more Mercer hoops. We're joined now by assistant coach Doug Esleeck. Coach, good to have you with us today. If you would, share a little background. I know you grew up thinking basketball, North Carolina roots, you have to really have a feel for basketball.
Well, I don't know about that, Rick, but there's nothing much else to do in North Carolina other than college basketball. That's what it's all about. But I attended the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Got a great education there. Played JV basketball there for 2 years, and then worked in the basketball office my junior year, and then worked at a high school as an assistant basketball coach. My senior year, had an AAU team throughout my time there, and was able to get into it, doing it full time at UNC Greensboro. Was the operations guy there for a year, and then went to Gardner-Webb as an assistant for 4 years, and then was fortunate enough to come and work for Coach here at Mercer.
Coach, during those early years, in the back of your mind, in your system, did you feel like coaching was ultimately where you wanted to be?
I felt like that this is what I wanted to do ever since I was in middle school. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do.
Now that you're into it, working with Coach Hoffman and the other coaches, what do you enjoy most about being a coach?
The best part to me is developing relationships with the young men that I'm privileged enough to coach and their families. I got to see Travis Smith's dad last night, or after our upstate win, and they had probably 15 family members all there at the game, and he was introducing my wife and I to them, and that's what it's all about, really, is developing those relationships with the young men and their families, and then seeing them get a degree. And Travis will graduate in May, and that'll be a special time for him.
Speak a little more about that, because you were the lead guy on Travis. We all worked together in the office and recruiting, but you were the lead guy, and you kind of identified him, and then you and I went down a couple times. But talk about how that works in his situation, how that came about, and he's turned out to be a fantastic player for us, which we're grateful for. But talk about how that kind of works.
Well, Travis was at Presbyterian College in the Big South for a year while I was an assistant at Gardner-Webb, and he kicked our tail twice.
Got your attention.
And certainly got my attention. He left Presbyterian and went to Gulf Coast, a junior college in Florida. And we started, as the year progressed, thinking about what our needs were. Yep. And Coach decided we really needed a guy that could score the ball, handle the ball. And Travis immediately popped into my mind as somebody that I knew at our level could do both of those things. He played the point at PC, so I knew he was capable of handling the ball, and I saw him score bunches of points against us, so I knew he could score. And knew his AAU guy, had a relationship with his high school coach, and so was able to quickly jump in there and start in on that process. And Coach and I went down and saw him work out and visited with him, and then he and I were in Illinois and drove some 14-odd hours down to do a home visit right at the end of the recruiting period, and then drove back down to Florida about 2 weeks later, right after Final Four, to do one more visit and seal the deal. We hoped, and it ended up working out. And we
the only thing I regret about that is they had these oysters on their back porch, and I didn't eat any.
It's always about food.
That's the only thing. No, he ate cake.
I got some cake.
He had some cake. They had some oysters. I didn't get any. But Doug does a great job for us. He works hard at all aspects of the game, but we're blessed that he's chosen to be a part of what we're doing. I think the inner workings of our staff, the dynamics of how those guys fit together is really good. Talk about how you guys have decided who takes what games, scouting-wise, and how that's worked out for us to this point.
Well, at the beginning of the year, we, once the schedule gets set, we go through and basically alternate games. So I would have every third game, Coach Nelp, Coach Wright, the same. And then the challenge in league play is to try to keep guys from having back-to-back scouts. So if I had upstate, when they come around the second time, you try to lay the schedule out so that no assistant is being swamped with 2 games in a row. Coach Hoffman can handle that, but we can't do that. So we try and lay it out the best we can to give ourselves the best opportunity to learn as much as we can about each opponent, and then we all watch a little bit of tape prior to each game to prepare for our different responsibilities in the games. So the idea is basically to divide the work as best we can so that we can focus as hard as possible on that opponent. And then the next year we try and change it up so that, now that we're into our third year as a staff together, all of us have had each one of these teams at least once. And so we have some familiarity with the coaching staffs and players and we're able to work even better together as time goes on.
And then how difficult is it, Coach, once you see the other opponents, see their strengths, see their tendencies, then what's the next stage of modifying that to adjust to your team being successful against them?
You know, I think that's something that Coach is unbelievable about picking up on what teams are really good at doing and then flipping those around and being able to use those against them. So, you know, if a team is a really good trapping team, we'll do things that try to take advantage of that draw traps, and then by our spacing and our personnel placement, we're able to take advantage of those things. And so that's a huge part of our scouting preparation, is determining how do our pieces fit into our game plan that's going to take advantage of what a team does best, and then turn that around against them. So that Coach likes to say he likes to have the other team looking around, wondering what's going on. Why are we trapping this now? They're killing us. And that really, you know, is part of the mental game too, that we try to attack teams in different ways.
One of our earlier games this year, a player on the opposing team told his teammates in the paper the next day they knew everything we were going to do before we did it, which is the ideal scout. But Coach, you bring a lot of enthusiasm to the game, and
Doug's awesome.
And Doug Esleeck also brings a lot of energy to your sideline as well.
He's great in practice every day. Brings the same intensity, and it's a blessing to have him. We're fortunate. Several years ago, he chose to be a part of our staff, and we continue to grow as a program and a staff, and a lot of it has to do with people like Doug and the rest of our guys.
All right, Coach Esleeck, thanks for joining us today and all the hard work you do, and let's just run the table and take this thing right up to the tournament first week of March. What do you say?
Yes, that'd be great, Rick. Thank you.
Coach Doug Esleeck. We'll be back in just a moment with more from the Wild Wing Cafe when we talk inside Mercer basketball.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where? At the Wild Wing. The Wild Wing. The Wild
Wing. For over 20 years, Mercer has relied on Forsyth Street Orthopedics.
Their team of doctors help keep our players on the court.
As a graduate of Mercer and a partner of Forsyth Street Orthopedics, we are proud to sponsor and take care of Mercer athletes. We work with Mercer Sports Medicine to return our injured athletes to competition as soon as their injuries allow, and hopefully protect them from further injury.
Forsyth Street Orthopedics, getting better together.
Go Bears! Back at Wild Wing Cafe, we're talking Mercer hoops with head coach Bob Hoffman. Well, Coach, coming up a road trip for the Bears, and this will be the last go-round for the first time to play everybody. Also, our first trip to Northern Kentucky. What do we expect when we hit the extreme cold of Northern Kentucky?
Well, I'm sure a couple of our guys will be excited about it that are from the north. We have one from Denver and one from up in Wisconsin, so I'm sure they'll be excited about being cold. But they have an amazing facility. Everybody told, I've seen it on tape, but I haven't been there, but they say it's just like an NBA arena. So we're looking forward to that. And they've had some great success at home. Already won games in the league, which a lot of people thought would be hard, being their first year in the league, but they have a great coach and they've won a lot of games with their program. So they're moving in this direction as far as a league and a conference and transitioning in Division I, and they're not missing any beats. They're doing it right away, and they're playing with tremendous passion, and they got some great players. They got two guards that are as good as anybody in our league.
And certainly not looking ahead past Northern Kentucky, but just because it's a week before we film this show again, we will go on to Nashville and look at Lipscomb. Somewhat different in the past. It's always been Nashville for 3 or 4 days, play Belmont, Lipscomb, so a little travel day in between. So the logistics of the trip has changed up a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to fly up to Cincinnati and play Northern Kentucky, and then we'll bus all the way back, which is different. And Lipscomb we're playing in the evening, which is also unique on a Saturday. So we'll get back real late, but both those games are games that, you know, all road games are opportunities for you to get an advantage and move a little bit in league play and stay where you want to stay in the standings. And but neither one of them are going to be easy. Lipscomb had an opportunity to beat Memphis. They were right there on the road. They got guys that can make shots. They got a huge player inside, Mr. Hurt. He'll put a hurt on you. He's 6'11", 3-something. I mean, he is a huge freshman,
yeah.
and he can make plays. So both teams they're both different and play unique style, so we'll have to be after it, and we're going to have to work really hard offensively and defensively to get those wins on the road. That would be a fantastic week if we were able to figure out a way to get it done.
And Coach, being optimistic, if we could go get
well,
two
I
on
hope
the road.
We always are, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
go 7-2, even if Stetson were to win on Friday, to be tied for first place after one round playing everybody certainly puts us in the position to accomplish everything we had hoped to when the season started.
Right, and we would have only played though we'd had 5 home games, I guess. In that situation, we would have 5 home games in the last 9,
mm-hmm.
so that would put us in a great position moving forward. I'm just excited about how we're playing right now.
Yeah.
No matter what the standings and everything else, I think we're getting a little rhythm. We're understanding a little more. Our offense is getting better. We need to shoot the ball better than we have been, and we've done that the last couple of games. So our defense has been there. We got to continue to get better on our execution in the days ahead, and all the rest of that stuff, the standings and all the stuff you media guys and you guys who do radio like to talk about, take care of themselves. So we want to stay focused on one possession, one game. You keep looking at all the other stuff, we'll just stay right there.
One thing I do think we all agree, looking upon, Coach, that's the fact the Mercer women playing as well as they have, which means this past home stand, 4 wins, 2 by your guys, 2 by the ladies, and these double headers have become a lot more fun. Susie Gardner's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
In a row. I mean, fantastic. The girls are shooting the ball at a high level, and they're taking other teams out of their stuff quickly. It's fun to watch them. Got to watch on Monday against East Tennessee State in the afternoon. Our guys were there, and we watched. They just played they just fit really well together. They got all kinds of folks making shots. Precious and KG knocking them down. So it's fun to watch, and if you're around the Macon area, you need to come out and pay attention to what's going on in women's basketball and our men's team. Moving forward, there will be some great games in the days ahead.
And our next home game will be the Friday night TV game of the week against Kennesaw, our
right here on
I-75
Comcast
rivalry.
Yeah.
So certainly we've got a lot to look forward to the next few days.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game, but right now we're thinking about Northern Kentucky.
Absolutely. All right, let's hit the road to Northern Kentucky and Lipscomb. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Inside Mercer Basketball. We'll see you again next week with head coach Bob Hoffman from the Wild Wing Cafe as we talk Inside Mercer Basketball.
Oh!